So in terms of your address position, hopefully you can see now a distinct difference in terms of where your body weight position is. I mean, there's definitely a lean on that side. I mean, on this one on the left hand side, you almost look a little bit back on it, slightly onto your back foot, and this is sort of very reminiscent of someone playing like a little bump and run, that sort of putting technique that you said. But what you'll find is if your spine angle is probably around there, just behind the golf ball, your angle into the golf ball now is going to be like that, so quite shallow into the ground. If you've got a bit of grass behind the golf ball, your club's going to be hitting that before the ball. That's going to affect how far it goes. It's also going to slow the club head down, which will affect the contact, the loft, and all the things that go along with that, okay? So when you're playing this shot now, it's very much sort of putting sort of style-esque swing, okay? Which, again, like I say, with a certain type of shot, you can see how low that's coming off the club face there, though, if there was something in the way, you're not really getting over it with any sort of success. Now, if you got over it, yes, winter time it's not going to roll, but in the summers we're hopefully going towards slightly drier fairways. You go over a bunker that flat, it's just going to keep running to the other side, and invariably into another bunker on the other side of the green, so you end up playing tennis with yourself. So what we've done now, by moving your spine angle now this way, we've changed your low point to be a bit more kind of angled down. Like I say, if you were going to play snooker, you kind of this way a bit more rather than hitting up on the cue. Yeah, exactly. Now that's something a lot of people do almost instinctively. We've just got to try and put that into a game of golf. And again, that stick on the back here now is just to showcase where your low point is. We can look here now on this left-hand one. That's kind of just before your impact there, just after impact, okay? But very 50-50 with that weight, as you can see. This one here now, as you go back, the weight stays forward. Your hands are nicely in front. The ball now is coming off with a bit more kind of launch off it. And the key thing, by opening up this foot and putting your weight on it, you're now able to turn and rotate around the corner a lot more effectively. And what judges how far it goes is by how much your arms lift or don't lift, as the case may be. If I said you hit something now with this, like an axe and stuff, you just lift your, if you want to be softly hit, you just lift it a small amount, hit it harder, you'd lift them higher, hit it really hard, you'd really lift them. So the amount your arms lift is kind of the sort of amount of power you're going to put in. But at least this now, we're going to get a reasonable strike more consistently, because the low point now is going to be after the golf ball, which is the key thing. We're hitting down the ball a bit more, and then we can turn through and finish off the swing. And we saw some of the shots there when you were using the sand wedge, which, like I say, in the winter you may not need to use. There might be some occasions where you really want to get one going up your left nostril and sort of going up in the air and coming down like this, real high sort of lob shot. Therefore, you're going to use some loft. I think normally this time of year now, with a wedge or a gap, the A wedge you've got, that would suffice to go over something, okay? As we start moving into summer, you may need to look a little bit more lofted club. Yeah, exactly. I think the key thing is, though, always choose the least lofted club you can play with. Yeah, so there's nothing in the way. You're 7, you're 8, you're 9. I mean, I even chip with sort of hybrids and sort of 5 irons. If I've got a really long green to play with, and there's nothing in the way. If I was going sort of a length of this green down this corridor here, and the green sort of starts 4 or 5 yards there, even if I'm almost on the green, it's just hard to hit a putt that far. Yeah. So I take out a sort of 4 or 5 iron, or even my hybrid, and just hit a putting technique. Get that ball running up the way, because the swing would be quite small, the margin is a lot greater.
But with nothing in front of it.
Exactly. Once you get something in the way, you need a bit more loft, therefore the swing has to get longer, and if you were to miss-hit it, the error will become greater. But that just becomes down to the fact that you go in front of it. You can't just chip a 7 iron into a bunker and through it. It has to be lofted over that. But I think with a bit of practice, at the moment, like I say, you're going to be thinking about a little bit narrower, opened up that foot, and then the weight goes onto that front foot. That's going to be something, once you get used to that, in a couple of weeks' time. I think we've seen the sort of progression you made with your setup. It's been quite quick, really, where you progress into that sort of lower case Y. You've done the same with the elbow. You've got the things working pretty quickly, I think. So I don't see any reason why this will take too long. So when you get on the golf course, you're going to be thinking then about the shot as opposed to the technique. So you know, it's over a bunker, the green's running away a little bit. And again, into more an advanced way of thinking, when you're playing these shots, you want to think, well, hang on, if I go a bit long, what's going to happen? Is going for the flag a good option? Sometimes, and this is the thing that golfers find really difficult, an example like this we can see, if you went for the flag instead of green, just sort of rolling a bit off to the right there, if you go for the flag and go about a yard or two too far, it rolls off the green down to the bit of ground. So you might, just go 10, 15 foot left of the flag and say, okay, if I'm 30 or 32 yards from the flag over a bunker, realistically, I'm not going to do it in 2 shots very often. I might do, but I'm not guaranteeing it. 3 would be an acceptable number. So if I hit it 15, 20 foot left of target, I know I'm good enough to putt from 20 foot and 2 putt. Okay, so at least it takes away the big number. Going for the flag, yes, you might get the odd 2, but you'll also get the odd 4 or 5 because you go over the back of the green to something else and have a more difficult return shot. So these are the more advanced thinking we're going to try and get into. But at the moment now it's technique. There's going to be an adjustment in technique. Okay, so any questions with that in terms of that new setup? Okay, yeah, good.
With the feet,
you look like you're playing a short shot now. That's the thing.
I can guarantee you, if I was doing that with 2 of the guys, so I'm playing tomorrow morning as well.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Because I want to get wet again.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think hopefully tomorrow you'll see then.
They will be saying
you're doing something different. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What are you doing that for? Yeah, exactly. Well, that'd be good, and hopefully then. And the thing is, with chipping and short game, and the beauty of this, you can do it in a lot of people's back garden or even in the living room somewhere. Because you're just looking at a contact. You could chip a ball 3 or 4 yards into the settee somewhere. You're not making big swings. You just stood there. Can you kind of get a contact and just hit the ground on the floor, make some small little swings this way, just to get the feel for that technique and that setup.
It felt right.
Yeah, and the thing is that what I always said, if you were going to throw the ball as far as you could, there would be a setup and a technique to try to throw it as far. If you were down the fairground and I was throwing a bucket, you wouldn't be back here. You'd be sort of you'd go forward on your front foot, wouldn't you? And you'd be there, and you'd be like, and your underarm throw. Everything would be very connected and sort of going forward. Yeah, there'd be no rotation or twist or shift. You'd be there that way. So in a chip shot setup, we're there that way. For a long shot, we're up there. Okay, just ways of creating power. Yeah. Okay, good stuff. Very good. Right.